The ProACT Know-How, brought to you by ProACT.
Hi, this is ProACT Sam from Living and Working Abroad. Welcome to this episode of Living and Working Abroad, where we're looking at healthcare and how that affects EU expats and UK expats in the EU around Brexit. There's been some big announcements in the last few weeks of September, which will have a material impact for expats. First of all, the UK are offering to reassure that all EU expats will maintain their current rights as EU citizens with or without a deal after Brexit. And all of them have got the right to apply for the UK settled status, the equivalent of a permanent residency for the rest of their lives for them and their family. So the UK expats have got certainly till Brexit Day to apply for that. If the withdrawal treaty goes through, that will be extended, the application for settled status through to the end of the transition period, 31st of December 2020. And things are beginning to centre around that. Deal or no deal, will expats be able to still have this grace period? It's still in the withdrawal treaty if the UK and the EU agree that. It's not been extended. The Cyprus government have confirmed in September that they will allow UK expats an extended period to the end of the transition period, 31st of December 2020, to make their initial registration or an application for a permanent residency in Cyprus. And the UK reciprocating on that basis. The latest offer is to all EU countries as a bloc or bilaterally that the UK will maintain the healthcare arrangements that they have in place at the moment. Now this is quite interesting to look at. So let's understand first of all what is how do you qualify for UK NHS treatment. If you're ordinarily resident in the UK and you pass that test, then you qualify for free NHS treatment. For most UK residents, you know, that's a given, but for expats, obviously that is a measure. So as soon as a EU citizen comes to live and work in the UK and becomes ordinarily resident, living and working in the UK, they qualify for UK healthcare. The second way that you can qualify for free NHS treatment as an expat is if you hold an S1. So if a UK expat has got an S1 or an HIC card issued by the UK, then they can. That means that their healthcare is paid in their resident country within the EU, but it also means they qualify for free NHS treatment back in the UK, even though they remain an expat. An EU expat who has an S1 issued by their home country likewise qualifies for free NHS treatment in the UK as well. Now this is all under threat with Brexit and with no deal Brexit, because the S1 is issued under the EU social insurance and healthcare agreements. So the UK have now offered a unilateral offer to the EU or individual groups to maintain reciprocal healthcare rights through to the 31st of December 2020. And this will mean that retired expats, students and UK expats living and working in the EU will be able to maintain their healthcare with or without a deal through to the end of 2020, 31st of December. And similarly, EU expats living and working in the UK will receive the same rights, bearing in mind that the fact that they live in the UK qualifies them anyway. So even if an EU expat in the UK doesn't have an S1, if they're ordinarily resident in the UK, then they'll qualify for the healthcare. And so, but the individual or EU have got to now respond to that reciprocal offer from the UK and enable things to be firmed up. So we're looking forward to that. At the moment, Spain and Belgium have offered reciprocal, have enacted reciprocal laws so that UK expats are living and working in Belgium or Spain have been offered reciprocal healthcare treatment, healthcare facilities through to 31st of December 2020. So that means that if there is no deal, then an expat with an S1 would still have cover in Spain. A UK expat would still have cover in Spain or Belgium through to the end of 2020, as would the retired expat who from Spain or the Belgium that was living and working in the UK. This also indicates it's a growing pattern that the withdrawal treaty is in existence. The EU and the UK could agree it and pass it before the 31st of October. They have one chance at the summit on the 18th of October to agree that. If they make a withdrawal agreement and if they revise it and accept it, it still comes with this transition period. Once the UK is out of the EU, then the EU can start the trade negotiations and the like, which is causing them all this noise around Brexit is to do with the trade deals and the politics around that. For people living and working abroad, the more material things are what is my healthcare rights and travel rights. And this is the benefit of a withdrawal treaty, allows a transition period of no change initially to the end of 2020, and that allows the politicians to get on and negotiate new trade deals, which can't happen until the UK leave. So the pressure on the EU to find a way to get the UK out so they can make the trade agreements to find the consistent way forward after the end of 2020. And the Cypriots the Cypriot government have offered this facility by extending the right to register for residency through to the end of 2021, either initially or on a permanent basis for UK expats. And now the UK are offering, using this, again, the transition period as an extended period during which nothing will change. Brexit will happen, but things will remain the same while things are organised for 15 months during a transition period. So this is what we're looking for going forward. So in summary, there appears to be some relief for UK expats and living and working in the EU, that the UK have offered to reciprocate with all the EU countries individually or as a group to get reciprocal healthcare treatments, which means S1s will still be valid for retired students and working people with S1s in the EU through to the end of 2021. If you want to know more information on this, go to our website at ProACTPartnership.com. We've got healthcare and reciprocal residency rights guides available at the website for you to download and get more information. Follow our blogs to keep up to date with the latest information, and also go along to our Living and Working Abroad page on Facebook and comment and ask us questions, and we'll try and feature those questions in our next blog. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you again next time.
The ProACT Know-How, brought to you by ProACT.